And tonight on the ABC News, OJ Simpson kills one more person. Oh my god, I can't believe it. OJ kills another person? I didn't know Minute Maid orange juice could kill people. I guess what happened here was that someone poisoned the OJ and, killed somebody. Thank you so much, and I'll see you next time on ABC, the horrible news in the whole world. Thank you. Well, I hope you liked how I did my commercials. I'm gonna be a star. I've always been a star. I just have to go to Hollywood, and then I'll just, everybody would be like going, "Oh, I want your autograph. Oh, I want your autograph." But anyways, see you later. Adios. Ciao.
Right. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody. Hi, how are you doing? It's me, Legal Vices here, and we are doing our regular weekly chill stream. OJ, and Chandler Remington. Chandler will be joining us shortly. I was just running a little bit behind schedule and didn't get her link out until the very last second, quite literally the very last second. But we're here. And we're winding down OJ. There's not a lot more OJ to do. People are growing weary of it, so we're going to pull the plug on OJ after we finish Mazzola. We've got about 3 weeks of Mazzola left, I would say, and then we'll do closing arguments, and then we're going to move on to another historical trial. We're not going to say what it is until it happens, but we're going to be moving on to a more slightly more current case, another court case that was televised back in the day, another court case was televised back in the day where Barry Scheck was the lead prosecutor, lead defense. So stay tuned for that. In the meantime, here we are. I don't have a like and subscribe poll set up yet, but just do your thing. Hit that like and subscribe. You know what you're supposed to do. No big mystery at this point. Once the trial gets underway here, once we push play and give it a whirl, I'll put up some sort of stupid chat poll just to remind y'all to hit that like and subscribe button. And please just double check to make sure you're still subscribed if you think you are. What we've got coming up in the next few days. First of all, there's some big news in the YNW Melly murder retrial. We talked a little bit about that the other day, and the big question was, is Detective Moretti going to be brought back in for another deposition? Prosecutors were fighting it. They didn't want him back in. The defense said, yes, he needs to come back in for questioning. There's just too much that's been going on. What he did was inappropriate, and clearly is grounds for him to be redeposed, because normally you only get one crack at it. That's all. But they said there's extenuating circumstances that just demand that he be brought in for another round of deposition. The court granted the motion. The court is allowing the defense to redepose lead detective Moretti, but the judge has limited their the scope of their redeposition of Detective Moretti. They can't talk about the evidence in the case. They can only depose him regarding matters going to his credibility, which of course is exactly what they want. They're going to be talking about this other case where he tried to illegally serve the search warrant on YNW Melly's mother and solicited the other police officer to lie on an affidavit. So they're going to question him about that. They're going to attack his credibility through another round of depositions. We'll have more on that next week. Tomorrow, Friday, we're going to be doing a big update on the Alex Murdaugh trial. They've been trying to get a new trial on this. They submitted their motion. They also submitted a motion to have the judge booted off the case. It's a huge motion. It's like 256-page motion. And they've also submitted the state has submitted their response to the motion for a retrial. So tomorrow what we're going to do is we will look at the state's response to the motion for a retrial. That's going to be fun because it's got some statements from the jurors in it, and it's also got an affidavit of Becky Hill. So we're going to get her response, her sworn response to the statements that in the allegations that have been levied against her about jury tampering. So stay tuned for that tomorrow. Monday is going to be a very, very special Maritime Monday. Tomorrow, Friday, is the I'm trying to think, 48th or 38th. Hang on real quick here. Lawyers can't do math. That's just a thing. 8, 9, 05, 15. Yes. Okay. Tomorrow will be the 48th anniversary of the sinking of the Edmund Fitzgerald on Lake Superior. So on Maritime Monday, we're going to do a special edition. We did the Edmund Fitzgerald last year. We're going to do it again this year with some different information. So Maritime Monday is going to be the remembrance. I almost said celebration. The remembrance of the 48th anniversary of the sinking of the Edmund Fitzgerald. Next Tuesday, we're going to do the YNW Melly update. Next Wednesday, we've got more Murdoch to do. We'll look at the motion to the Supreme Court to get the judge booted off the case. And then next Thursday is some more OJ. And then a week from tomorrow, next Friday, I believe will be the November F It Friday stream. So that tells you what's coming up. All right, and there's Yoda. And at the end of the stream today, we'll do a little bit of unboxing. We finally got Joe Choi's box. Joe Choi sent me a little box. So I've already unboxed it, and must confess, a lot of what was in the box did not survive the few days that I've had the box. We'll talk about that at the appropriate time at the end of the stream. Yoda is in the living room having a Yoda fit. But the good thing about Yoda runs out of energy in about 30 seconds, and he'll chill. It's probably just him complaining that he hasn't been on camera for so long. I think that's what it is. I think he's begging for the Doggo Cam achievement to be unlocked. He said, "Hey, I haven't seen you guys in about a week. Come on, release the hounds." Sort of the pre-F Friday grift, I guess. Okay, so there we are. That's just something there. You know, dogs are here, waiting for the camera. Unlock the achievement. That'll happen. But in the meantime, let's pick this up where we left off with ANDREA MAZZOLA being eviscerated on the stand. There was a little bit of jury drama, a little bit of lawyer drama at the end of last week, but it wasn't important. It was so boring that we just kind of shut it down. So let's pick this up where we left off, and we will welcome Chandler when she arrives in a few minutes. Until then, it's just little old me and little old yous. All righty. I think we've got everything. John Gordon, your girl Chandler is on her way. Let's go. All right, let's bring it on up. We got 73 people here waiting for OJ and 38 likes. Come on, half of you haven't done your likes. Smash that like in the 2 seconds it's going to take me to bring this up. And we don't want to share that. We want to share the tab. There we go. Judge Ito and his collection of hourglasses. I thought that was a red stapler. I was going to make some red stapler jokes. But all right, here we go. Oh, Yoda.
All right, good morning, counsel. Back on the record in the Simpson matter. Mr. Simpson is again present before the court with his counsel, Mr. Shapiro, Mr. Cochran, Mr. Blazier, Mr. Scheck.
Flux, poor Mazzola.
Represented by Mr. Goldberg and Mr. Darden. Good morning, counsel.
Good morning, Your Honor.
All right, we have the items of evidence present from the LAPD. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right.
With the exception of 3 control videos on item 7.
This is the prototype for ignoring the microphones in court, I think.
Mr. Neufeld, you wanted to inspect those items, and Mr. Goldberg, you wanted that done on the record. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
All right, let's proceed.
It's the items, but he wants to open them.
Right. How many of these items do you need to see? to open to see?
I just wanted to open the court envelopes for there's the 16 or so items.
How many?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 17, 23 items.
Oh my God.
You've already been given the opportunity to do this
No, Your Honor,
previously.
oh, no, that's not the point here. The point is, before I actually display them to the witness, I just want an opportunity to make sure these are the same ones that I've seen in the past. That can take literally 7 or 8 minutes to do. I was here at 8:30 for that purpose, as you know, Your Honor.
Mhm.
I can do it during a very brief recess between the end of their redirect and my cross. I just need those 7 minutes. So before I actually show them to the witness, I've had an opportunity to look at them myself to make sure they're the same.
All right, Mr. Goldberg, would you approach, please?
All
Give
right.
me my scissors.
They've,
You got 10 minutes.
a certain,
Do it on the record.
let's find out if they make us watch the opening of 23
gloves,
envelopes
what do you
of evidence. I certainly hope they don't.
All right.
Make yourself comfortable there, Ms. Mazzola. Your time's a coming.
Mr. Goldberg?
We were just discussing that we don't have any seals to reseal the items, which we'd like to do after they're reopened because they are analyzed evidence. Ms. Mazzola just brought that to my attention.
All right, Ms. Robertson, do you have evidence seals so we can reseal each one of these items after they've been opened? All right, would you supervise that process then over there?
Oh, how exciting. We get to watch them open
right,
23
Mr.
envelopes.
Goldberg,
If
Mr.
we're going to
Gardner,
skip
can I
through
ask
it
you
if
to
they
clear
do.
a few items off your council table there, put them over here on the bar by the jury rail so I can observe what's going on as well. And let's do this as expeditiously as we can.
Right. I hope they do, because then that'll shorten our. Let's just skip ahead here a bit. Oh, yep, they're showing them all. Showing
There,
them
Ms.
all.
Mazzola.
It is item H.
They're looking in through 23 different
Harmon, you're going to have to stand out
envelopes.
of the well, please.
Get out of the well, Mr. Harmon. You don't belong there.
I can start on, but we can do this before I get to this issue, if you want to do this during recess, if you prefer.
Let's do it now.
All right. Oh, this is nice. We get to skip through a bunch. How cool is that? Shapiro looking fly back there in his dull brownish suit. Oh, thrilling. So far, we've been able to skip 9.5 minutes. Let's go to 14 minutes and see if they're still doing it. They said it would take like 8. Yep. They said it would take 7 or 8 minutes. So you figured 3 times that is what it's actually going to take. Maybe we don't have a maybe we don't have a court
You're going
today.
to listen to one book author. They're about to go out.
All right. 20 minutes in. Well, it looks like they've got their stuff together here. Oh, what a lovely little bouquet of
All right, 2
flowers.
paper bindles.
Oh, no, psych, they're still there.
Excuse me, Mr. Neufeld, could you step 2 steps to the left?
Oh, God.
We've been here since 8:30 this morning for that purpose, just to let you know what the delay was.
All right, so we got the jury in. Good.
Tell the jurors.
Took about 38 minutes. He said, oh, it'll take seven minutes. It took 38 minutes. So there you go. All right, folkers. Here we go. What's up, dog? All right. Strawberry has made an appearance here. Yoda is still in the living room. Right. It's time to restart Yoldi video. Wait, where did Yoldi video? There we go.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you recall, yesterday I indicated to you that we had a delay because of some of the items, physical items of evidence were not immediately available to us. And the delay this morning was that those items were delivered to the court, and I wanted to examine each piece of that evidence before it was presented to you. So we've had to go through, how many were there? 15 or 16 pieces
23.
of evidence? Yeah, in any event, that's what we've been doing. We've been here since 8:30 this morning for that purpose, just to let you know what the delay was. All right, good morning again, Ms. Mazzola. You're reminded you were again under oath, and Mr. Goldberg, you may continue with your redirect examination.
All right. So what they took some things
Now, I
out
was
of
asking
order.
you yesterday about,
So what they've done is they paused the cross-examination of her because they're waiting for this and additional evidence. So they started the redirect of her. So they paused they paused the cross-examination, started redirect. When he's done with the redirect, then they'll go back to the cross-examination. It's a weird thing, but they did it as a time-saving measure.
this white item, the blanket that you saw in the vicinity or on Mr. Goldman at some point. What was that blanket again?
100 people here and 52 likes. Get down there, smash the like. Hi, Yoda.
Blanket or sheet, I wasn't sure which one.
And was that something that came from the coroner's office?
Objection, she knows.
Rephrase the question.
Do you know if that came from the coroner's office?
All right, the
At the
dogs
time,
are
I
locked and
did
loaded if
not.
we unlock the
All right,
achievement.
maybe we can see People's 99 right there.
Got
Okay, now, if you can look at the background of this photograph and take a look at the white blanket or white sheet that appears to have some writing on it. Is that what you saw?
I saw him on a white blanket or sheet.
Okay, and when you looked at this, did you look at this photograph prior to testifying today, the actual photograph as opposed to an image of it?
Yes,
And did you look at other crime scene photographs depicting the same scene or similar scene?
I had seen crime scene
I'd
photographs.
seen the
previous,
scene.
Yes.
And what was the writing? What is the writing that appears on the right-hand side of this blanket that's somewhat blurry?
Yeah. On this image, it's hard to tell, but on the photographs, it appears to be from the LA coroner.
And is this consistent with what you saw when you were referring to a white blanket?
Yes,
Now, thank you. Was there another white blanket that was at the crime scene that was still there after the bodies had been removed when you were engaged in the evidence collection process?
yes, there was.
And where was that white blanket?
It was on the walkway near the first steps.
Now, from your own independent recollection, based upon what you saw when you were at the scene, did you ever see that blanket on anyone?
From what I can recall, I did not see that particular blanket on anybody.
Either the body of Nicole Simpson or Ronald Goldman?
Not that I
They're
can
talking
recall,
about a
no.
blanket that was allegedly
Does that mean
taken
that you
out of
don't
the
know that they
house
ever
and
on
covered the
Nicole
bodies.
Simpson, or just that you did not see that?
I did not see that.
Now, you were asked some questions on cross-examination about your conversations with me, and you said that at one point you had been in the district attorney's office for perhaps 5 hours or so.
Correct.
Now, on the occasion or occasions when that happened, was that while you were waiting to testify?
Not, well, I believe on maybe one occasion it was while I was waiting.
And were people talking to you the whole time about this case, or what were you doing?
For the most part, I was left alone.
Leave Andrea alone.
Attorneys ever attempt, to your knowledge, to contact you and say, we'd like to sit down with you and go over what we're going to question you about or talk about the case?
Sustain, rephrase the question.
Have the defense attorneys ever contacted you and asked you prior to today to discuss any part of the case with them?
No.
Okay. Today, did you have a little bit of a conversation with Mr. Neufeld about certain items of evidence?
Yes.
And other than that, is that the only time that you had an off-the-record conversation that you can recall with one of the defense lawyers?
Ladies and germs, it's Behandler Remington.
Hi.
Looking particularly lovely in a burgundy or maroon event. You got a whole event going on there with the hair and the maroon thing. You're looking darn fetching for like ass early in the morning.
Oh, stop. I'm sick. It's a sick day. I have a doctor's appointment.
You're looking sick.
Thanks. If that's a compliment. Hi, everybody. Burgundy is my favorite color, so I'm just in my subtitle here. I need all the matzo ball soup today. So, but I needed to come on and do OJ because it makes me feel better. So I'm happy to be here.
Oh, well, it makes me feel better to have you here too. No fun doing this alone. It's bad enough as it is. You know, misery loves company.
I told you I was watching Misery the other day. It's such a good movie.
Flux says Behandler. Yay, Chandler. Morning Behandler. Oh, you got a regular damn fan club here. Look at this. Jeez, everybody's happy for you.
Oh, everybody's so sweet. Hi, everybody. Valhalla.
Dang.
Valhalla just got a Twitter account. That was weird. I never expected that to happen.
Me either.
Right? That was a big surprise. Congratulations, Val. Now we can bug you on Twitter.
You're Ron Burgundy? No.
I don't speak Spanish, Baxter. What are you talking about? If you eat a whole wheel of cheese, I won't be mad. I will just be impressed.
I would
Like
love
my
to
cat
eat a
got
whole
when my
wheel
cat
of
got
cheese.
into the ramen in the cabinet last night. I woke up at 3 a.m. because my cat had gone into my ramen stash.
She's got a stash of ramen in the house.
Oh yeah, I got this amazing tonkatsu ramen that's apparently like there's like this ramen blog and they rate it in like the top 3 ramens of all time. And I found it at my local grocery store, so I had to try it. I'm really excited. It has like a black garlic oil kind of thing going on. I'm a big fan of ramen these days. I'm like going through a ramen phase, which is all very relevant to this OJ Simpson trial. You all want to hear about it totally because it's so relevant, right?
Yeah.
And
I'd
fascinating.
rather listen to you talk about ramen than her. All right, but we do have our very first super chat of the day from JA.
Woohoo!
Saying, get well. Both of you look lovely. Well,
So
thank you very
nice.
much. Now I feel the urge
you.
to like preen. I have to preen a little bit here. I have to groom.
By the way, I like the hat today.
It's the Lotte Giants, the local baseball team.
Oh my God, Kathy Beatty equals Kathy Bates in Misery. You're so right.
Oh no, totally.
Ariane, how do you say your name? Is it Ariane? It's a beautiful
Arian the vegetarian. See, Arian the
it.
vegetarian.
Oh, it rhymes. Yes, my bad.
Yeah.
I'm a little. It's a little early. Yeah. Apparently they came. The jurors are looking really sharp today. So I guess people are like surmising that they have made their decision in that case, and I'm very excited about that.
Well, I'm sure they made their decision about 30 seconds after walking in. Now they've just been going through the calculations for the last couple of days. Now they're ready for their close up, Mr. DeMille, when the camera's all over them and they're giving interviews.
Well,
just how many zeros?
I'm glad. Yeah, I watched the documentary yesterday actually, and that was heart-wrenching. I'm really looking forward to this family getting some closure.
Well, let's get some closure here on this. Let's burn through some of this, and we'll if anything starts to go down, let me know. If the jury comes back, we'll cut away from this nonsense and go to that. We are now officially, because of our super chat from JA, we are now officially $98 away from unleashing Doggo Cam. And there may or may not be toys from Joe Choi that you can watch them munch on if we get there. There may or may not be toys. Hint, hint, hint. All right, let's keep going.
That I can
Relating to the case.
recall, I believe it was, yes.
Did you consider your conversation with Mr. Neufeld to be witness preparation?
Roger Stone, what is the brand name of the
No.
tonkatsu ramen you were talking about, Chandler?
Was he asking you
It
questions?
was a Japanese
about-
ramen. So.
Oh, well, can you just give us a generic or general
I'll show you. I
description
have
of
it in the other
what
room.
the conversation was about?
Oh yeah, authentic
He was just asking about
restaurant
items of
ramen is
evidence.
it's a different
I
thing
would
than
Oh, yeah,
packaged.
conceal
obviously.
them.
He was asking what?
By the way, Roger
That
Stone,
I
thank you.
would
Thank you
open
very,
them for
very,
him to
very
see.
much.
Was he asking any questions about those items?
Roger,
of
since you
evidence,
asked
or
and
what
you
put on
paid,
them or what they were?
I will have
me.
to grab my ramen.
Not really.
I'm feeling a ramen stream coming on one of these nights.
Oh, we totally should.
Next week
You know,
is
I
the
wanted to
50th.
ask some
Okay.
questions.
Next week is the 50th episode of OJ Simpson.
No way.
I think it should be a
Crazy.
celebratory ramen stream.
Okay, I'm down
All
for
right.
that.
For some
I'm,
reason, OJ
yeah.
will make us consume ramen next week.
I'm totally into that. Yeah. I mean, look, I just like, I don't know. I'm a very big fan. I add I'll do like a 6-minute egg. I'll add some cabbage, some green onion. I have like my very special way of making it. But the tonkatsu one I've never tried. So I kind of want to like, you know, test it out and see if it needs anything. I might add some veggies, might not. But I do like make the you know, the eggs with like all marinated in like a mirin and tamari mixture. It's really fantastic. Very big fan of making the ramen eggs. It's super easy to do. You just need 2 ingredients. So
Yeah. And the secret to ramen is anything. If whatever you put in your ramen, that's the nutrition you get out of ramen. Ramen
Yeah,
in an egg
exactly.
gives you all the nutrition of an egg, and you won't have to have any salt on your food for about 4 days.
Oh my god, it's so salty. I have to forego the little seasoning packets. I get like the Shin ramen and I love that, but it's just it like I feel like I like just like a sponge just being like sucked dry. Like that episode of SpongeBob SquarePants where he's like in Sandy's tree dome and he's, you know, and he needs water desperately. Like I just feel like
That's it.
super dehydrated. And so I make my own with like I'll do chili oil, that like the black vinegar and you know and soy sauce and
Yeah.
mirin in it. So it's a really good
Yum.
it's
All right.
delicious, which is totally something that you need to know. Who cares about this trial?
Yeah.
I mean, why
Yeah.
are people here?
Don't give
at
away all
all?
your secrets. We got to save them for next week's ramen stream.
Oh, I do. You really want to do a ramen stream? I'm
Yeah,
totally
sure.
down. Okay.
And Daily Quick Buy says Maritime Monday doesn't necessarily have to be disasters. Do Korean turtle boats. I'm one step ahead of you.
Turtle ship?
That's on the turtle boats are on the horizon.
Oh, Kaiser, heck yeah. Better than bouillon
Yeah.
is so freaking good. And that definitely is like, that goes a long way. Oh, I should get some of that stuff. That would be fantastic.
All
They have a
right.
mushroom one. That's really good. Okay,
Internal
sorry,
dialogue.
okay.
Internal
Okay, okay.
dialogue.
Got it. Sorry, guys.
Let's get through this torture
I
chamber
just
here.
you ask questions and I could just go on and on.
Conversation.
All right, I think our agreed upon parameter is physical description, dimension.
Without telling us
God,
what
smack
these
ramen.
items-
Oh, Jesus.
Mr. Neufeld,
I used to eat that every day in middle school.
Really?
do you
I've
want
heard
to talk
Maggie
with
is really
Scott
good.
first?
I've never tried it though.
We did not do turtle boats already, Flux. That's on the horizon.
What are turtle boats? What is this that people are talking about?
Just wait for that Maritime Monday and you'll find out.
Oh yeah,
All right, thank you, council. Ladies and gentlemen, if you recall, well, with regard to evidence collection items number 15 and 16, the parties, both sides have withdrawn their objection to those items. So we will proceed with those items. All right, Mr. Goldberg.
Your Honor, then I'll mark as my next exhibit in order as People's 203,
203.
item number 15, and as 204, item number 16. I'm not going to write on these because they already have markings on them.
All right.
May I approach this?
You may.
Mr. Bell, showing you item number 15 and item number 16. Do you recognize those?
Yes,
And what are those?
They are the
Yes, Flux. We did duck
two
boats.
items which
not
were
turtle
collected
boats.
at Rockingham on the afternoon of June 13th.
And when was the packaging that they're now contained in? When were they placed in those packaging materials?
That happened June 14th back at the laboratory.
Can you remove
Make sure you're
the
make sure
item
you're here
from
next week,
people's
Danielle.
One,
Make sure you're here next week. We're going to be all about the ramen.
That's number 15. And tell us what you're doing for the record.
I am opening the coin envelope,
It opens the coin envelope or it
And-
gets the hose again.
I
removing
just watched that the other day.
appears to be airline tickets.
Oh.
All right. Maybe you can just hold that up so the jurors can see what you have.
To all expense tickets to Aruba.
Now, when you were
You're the next
actually at the
contestant on The Price is
location-
Right.
Did you put that in any packaging material other than the plastic bag itself?
No.
Now, can you remove item number 16 from its coin envelope and describe what you're doing for the record?
Okay.
I'm inserting it all the way.
I am removing item 16 from the envelope. It appears to be a baggage claim ticket from
It's for you, you old
Airline.
bag.
And was that placed in any other packaging material
Bags
on
and
the
asses.
13th? When you were at Rockingham, other than the plastic bag itself?
Unhung hero. She's
No.
praying to dumpster Jesus to get off the stand. Yes, she is. She's
Can you
praying to
just hold
dumpster
up
Jesus.
Item number
Dumpster
15 one more
Jesus.
time?
You the
Actually,
guy out
put
back of
16 in.
John Shopkins?
Yep.
Yep.
Where the corpse of many people's Lord and Savior was disposed of. We are now at $90 to unlocking Doggo Cam achievement. Was this his flight tickets to Chicago?
Um, Take a look at 163H for identification, the gray analyzed evidence envelope.
Like, we know he went to Chicago. What's the relevance?
I don't know.
Does it say LAX? I thought he traveled out of.
You want
The
the item
Burbank
itself kept
airport.
down? All right.
Maybe I'm wrong.
I'd like to give you 163H. Maybe you can just hold the two of those up so we can get a relative size.
Mike lives there. From Chicago, as usual.
That's a place. My family's from Chicago originally.
Who cares about this? Oh, we
Nobody.
flashed Doggo Cam up there, so that took off our MST.
Neither that item that you're holding now nor item number 16 were placed in any other packaging material
She can hold my item
other than
and
the
package.
plastic bag while you were at the Rockingham location.
No, she
Correct.
can't. Just kidding.
Now, when you were carrying the plastic bag out of the location, did it feel to you like it weighed anything more than what you would expect with just item 15 and 16 and the little cards collected?
See, now this is just because these were the two things that were in the trash bag together with the blood vial. And the question he's asking them, did you think that, did it seem like it weighed more than just these two envelopes or envelopes, if you happen to be Chandler? So they're asking, did the trash bag seem to weigh more to you? Like it had something in it, like a blood vial? How much does a blood vial weigh anyway? This is just a stupid line of questioning.
Collection cards.
It felt like it was a little heavier than it should be, but I didn't give it much thought.
Thank you. You can replace that item.
It's those big, long,
Can you just
spidery
hold
Ann
the
Coulter-like
envelope itself
fingers.
So that we can, no,
They can do
the
magic.
envelope.
The idea
envelope.
of comparing Rachel Maddow and Ann
Is that
Coulter
the
is
type
so
of
funny.
coin envelope or one of the kinds of coin envelopes that you do have in your crime scene boxes?
Yes.
And where were those coin envelopes at the time that you and Mr. Fung recovered item 15 and 16?
They were in the back of the truck,
Locked.
locked.
Zizzer zazzer zuzz.
I do not get that reference, but I'm glad that you're amused.
That was one of the items that the Grinch stole, and the Grinch who stole Christmas from little Cindy Lou Who.
Now, turning to the
He stole a Zizzer Zazzer
search and
Zuzz.
collection of evidence. You said that on the pedals that you used the same swab for the purposes of the phenolphthalein test.
Correct.
Why was that done?
Mr. Fung just
Skin
wanted to
culture's so
see
funny.
if the pedals had been manipulated, as if someone had driven the Bronco.
As opposed to
Did
what?
someone manipulate
As
your
opposed to just
petals?
Getting in the Bronco and then getting right back out.
So you wanted to see whether
I
there
think
was
it's
any
pedals,
evidence of any
not
blood on any
petals.
one of the 3 pedals.
Correct.
And
I think.
when he directed you to do this test, did you have any fear or concern on your part that if you suggested to him that 3 different swabs should be used, that he was going to say to you, I can't believe that you would question my judgment, I think you should be fired,
No.
or anything along those lines?
Then why didn't
No.
you?
And when you were doing this phenolphthalein test, was it your intent to collect anything, to try to collect anything from the pedals?
No, he said we were just,
Sustained.
You can just tell us what your intent
Those
was.
are JKD Buck's
the
new
intent
pronouns,
was to
Zizzer,
see if
Zazzer,
the
and
pedals
Zuzz.
had been manipulated. That was it.
She manipulates
And
petals with
is it
those
your
long
practice
fingers.
Ziz self.
Not to collect every single last stain that you see in a car that contains many stains, such as the Bronco?
A
I-
representative
I'll
sample
forever love Danielle for
of what is-
correctly quoting.
in the car
that
will be
line.
taken.
And who was making the judgment call?
Oh, 'cause people
as
say,
to
and your
which
little dog
samples to
Toto,
take
too?
and not to
Yep.
take
And
from
she
the
never says
Bronco?
Toto.
Yes, the
That was
correct
Mr.
line is,
Fung.
I'll get you, my pretty, and your little dog, too.
Right. Just
Now,
like
I'd
in
like
Star
to,
Wars, he never
direct
says
your
Luke,
attention to
I am your
People's
father. He just says, I am your
195
father.
for identification.
Spoilers, Jesus.
Oh, unhung hero.
This photograph
Go
is
to
a
your
little
room.
bit washed out. Have you had an opportunity?
Naughty.
Have you had an opportunity to look at the actual photograph before?
Yes,
And was this a photograph that was taken on the 14th when you and Mr. Fung were doing the evidence collection at the Bronco?
yes, it was.
Did it make you feel
Now, do
tingly?
you have an
That's
independent
the hazard of
recollection
being a
seeing any of the
light-haired
stains
gentleman
that
or
appear
woman. You have no
in the
eyebrows. A little
running
pencil.
board
Just give him
area
a little, give him a little
of the
pencil.
driver's side door?
I have some great brow product.
Not on the running board itself, no.
Let's take a look at
There, Castle.
197
Here, Wolf?
for identification.
What wolf?
There, Wolf. There,
Who wolf?
Castle.
Now, with respect to the little
An
stains
American
that are
werewolf in
contained
London.
in this photograph,
Objection, Your Honor, little stains.
Sustained.
well,
Counsel objection, and then I'll ask for the grounds, both sides.
do you see some stains that are
Grounds.
contained in this photograph?
That's not
I
Coke.
see cards where there would be stains.
No, I'm talking about the
Hey, you just gave
area
me some
of
Entenmann's
the
powdered donuts.
running board, the driver's area.
What knockers?
I was watching
great
Annie Hall
movie.
last night, and I love that
Talking about
scene
the
where he
white
sneezes
metallic
and the
area
coke
that's
goes
in the
everywhere.
forefront of this photograph.
There
Sorry, I
appears to
talked over
be a
total other
dark
reference.
spot on it.
Now, do you recall seeing that on the 14th?
No, I don't recall if I saw that or not.
And do you recall seeing any other spots in that area on the 14th?
No,
Now, when you say you don't recall, does that mean that they weren't there?
Objection, Your Honor.
Rephrase the question.
When you say you don't recall, does that mean that you looked in that area, examined it, and that they weren't there?
It means I don't recall if I saw stains there or not.
And prior to looking at the crime scene photographs, did you have any recollection as to the rear gate at Bundy being there?
No.
But does that mean that it wasn't there?
Objection, Your Honor.
Sustain. Rephrase the question.
Does that mean that you looked? and
She's
you
never
examined
manipulated the
area and
rear
that
door, if you know what
saw
I
that
mean.
There was no rear gate at Bundy?
I did not remember seeing a rear gate at Bundy.
But
don't
do
know,
you
look
now
at her.
know that there was in
She's
fact
probably
one
into some
there?
freaky shit.
I know now that there was a gate, yes.
Just
And
not with man.
prior to seeing the video
morning when I'm
collecting
straight.
the glove,
Gonna
at
open
the,
up
Bundy
your
location.
gate.
I think
Did you-
we've asked this question already.
not in this context.
Well, I
We
never.
asked the same question though yesterday afternoon in a similar kind of context.
Well, you testified yesterday that you didn't have an independent recollection prior to seeing the videotape of collecting the glove at Bundy. Does that mean that you didn't collect it or you remember not collecting it?
Objection.
Counsel, we've already asked that question.
Shut the fuck up, counsel. Move on.
Now, who was doing most of the work in terms of trying to identify stains on the Bronco prior to the actual physical collection of the stains?
Mr. Fung,
What were you doing?
I was passing him the photo ID cards, doing the sketch, helping with measurements, passing him supplies as he needed them.
I told you they were sketchy.
Now, Ms. Mazzola, with respect to the stains that are in this People's Exhibit 197 for identification, did you ever consider at all testifying that you did see them on the 14th?
Objection.
I'll be back in about 15
Brown.
seconds. Tell me what I miss. Ooh, mood lighting.
Oh, well,
If I didn't remember seeing them, then that's how I would testify. I didn't remember seeing them.
Okay. And you never thought of saying, yeah, I do remember seeing them to help the prosecution's case, did you?
No.
Haro, as they say in
Now, I'd like
Korea.
to ask you some questions about the collection video, the blood collection video that was played.
Oh, it's almost Pepero Day.
Oh, yeah.
You hear that? Phone.
That's
Thank God.
Defense 1117 for identification. And I'd just like to
So
play it
creepy.
all the way through, and then I'll ask you some questions about what we saw.
I bet we see asses and bags.
Ugh, more of that.
You can never
No,
get enough asses and bags.
asses. If they were better asses, I'd be able to tolerate the bags. But So my one cat got into my ramen stash. The other one lunged at me and bit my throat. It's been quite a morning. And now he's sleeping peacefully in my lap like a little cherub.
This is the demonstrative. How we wish we had collected evidence.
Oh yeah.
Where she actually drops a few things. They try to edit it out. They get nailed by the prosecution and by the defense.
Oh, speaking of titties, I saw the best tweet that I've ever seen.
In this scene where you're pouring some items out into the cap, what are you doing?
I am putting some of these swatches into the cap so I could pick them up with the tweezers.
And now you are doing what?
Adding a drop of distilled water
Ass
to the
and titties.
swatch and
Ass and
shaking it
titties.
out.
Ass, titties, titties. Ass and titties. That was one of that was one of my most favorite Oscar moments of all time.
I'm not
Is
familiar.
uh
What?
3-6 Mafia, the singers of that fine song, Ass and Titties.
I gotta listen to
They
that.
won an Oscar for the soundtrack for the movie Crash.
Did they really?
And yeah, they had
saw that
it
movie.
was like the best song or something or whatever. And Chris Rock was hosting that time, I believe. I believe it was
Oh my
Chris Rock that
God.
was hosting. And
Actually, yeah, go on.
when they were getting the award, Chris Rock said something that is my favorite Oscar moment of all time. He says, "Just remember, 3-6 Mafia 1, Martin Scorsese 0." That was great. But now Scorsese's won an Oscar since that point in time. But that was pretty
Wow.
funny. I thought that was pretty
That's
amusing.
hilarious. No, that's fantastic.
These singers of ass and titties have an Oscar, but Martin Scorsese didn't. Anyway,
I have 2 comments. First
Okay.
of all, I don't know if you all saw that video of Mariska Hargitay on the red carpet for it was like some women's award show, and her boobs looked amazing. They were like, her cleavage was fantastic, and she was trying to get the cameraman to zoom in on like the tiny little necklace that she was wearing. And my favorite comment on Twitter was just somebody just said, "Them titties be tittying like a motherfucker." It's like my favorite comment of all time. It's just like, "Yep, them titties be tittying."
All right. I missed that one. It was Hustle and Flow. That was the song.
Oh, because the funny thing about Crash is that movie won an Oscar. There's another movie by the same name, and back when Blockbuster existed, I was like 12 years old, and my mom and I rented the David Cronenberg version of that movie, and we're watching this like very sexual, very pornographic, like very, and we're just like waiting for like Queen Latifah to come in or whatever, like whichever actress, and it was just like we obviously rented the wrong film. You could only really do that back in those days. That was pretty funny. Anyway, moving on.
Righto. Moving.
Them titties be
moving right
tittying
along.
like a motherfucker.
Yes, and
and by the way, you should look it up. You should look up Mariska Hargitay, like that video. Them titties
I
be
will do
tittying.
that.
Just saying, really tittying all over the place.
Oh, and mind you, the song that 3-6 Mafia won was titled "It's Hard Out Here for a Pimp."
And now you've placed a swatch down, and for what purpose is that?
To take a control,
And this is right by the card that says number 5.
correct.
And you just put it into a object. What did you put the control swatch in?
It's placed in a small plastic bag,
And that had some writing on it.
correct.
What was the writing?
The item number and.
I thought it was
safe
Crash.
control.
I guess it was Hustle and Flow. Anyway, that wasn't the important part of the
So that's all
story.
you have to put on there is the item number and C for control.
Scorsese zero.
Chris.
So
Is that
good.
all you have to put on there? Just the item number and C for control?
Yes,
We've only got about 4 or 5 more weeks of OJ, and then we're done. Moving on to a new trial. As you can see from
Now,
the
what did you
poll
just
for
do?
today,
clean the tweezers again.
take the like and subscribe poll. All 125 of you, 92 of you have, few of you haven't. The like and subscribe poll is: Are you ready to abandon? Are you ready to enjoy the typo in the poll? Are you ready to abandon OJ and start a different trial? 74% of you have said yes so far. 26% have said no.
Oh, sweet. Because we got a good trial for you, allegedly.
And we're still $90 away from unleashing our objective.
And now you are placing the
Not our
swatch down
objective.
on the
I'm
stain.
sorry.
Correct.
Our or whatever isn't an objective. Achievement. Yeah, here we go. It's
Now, when
my
you're
objective,
handling
your
the
achievement.
swatch with the tweezers, what portion of the tweezers comes into contact with the swatch?
The extreme pointed end.
God, she's really fucking that up, isn't she?
Are those tweezers, is there anything special about them that distinguishes them from
She
ordinary
looks bad at her
tweezers?
job. She can't even pretend to do it right.
Well, they're extremely sharper, and they have a longer area where you would handle the item.
I've got a longer area for you to handle,
Are they
Mazzola.
serrated at all so as to be able
He
to
said while
grab
smoking a
things?
cigar.
Or are they just smooth?
I mean, I
Some-
feel like
we
that'd
have
be
some
very
that are
punishing for
serrated and
you.
some that
I
are
wouldn't
smooth.
recommend it.
But these particular ones that you use for this task are the smooth ones.
Those are smooth.
Yes, Spathe. It wasn't just sharper, it was extremely sharper.
Yeah, that was weirdly English.
And now what are you doing?
Placing the swatch with the item in a separate plastic bag.
It sensed you were going to touch the space bar.
What does that plastic bag have on it?
The item number.
So it doesn't have a C.
No.
Flux. Naughty,
And
naughty.
Why is that? Why do you put a C on one and just the item number on the other? For what purpose?
I do the
do
same
to
thing sometimes.
designate the control. That's the only reason.
Couldn't you designate it even if you didn't write that on it?
For the most part, you can tell if a swatch has blood on it or not, but
See, now,
I
mind you,
just
this
put
is
C.
they used everything. She didn't change her gloves between changing all these little. This is not actual collection of evidence. This is a video that they made to show how they collect evidence. And she drops the swab in the dirt and then uses it to swab. She doesn't change her gloves. She rubs her glove all over the dirt, rubs it all over her pants. And then, so they had a field day with it. Now, for some reason, somehow they're trying to rehabilitate her with it.
Makes it
She's
easier.
just so bad
Yes.
at everything she does.
Casey Anthony may be 3 trials down the way because we've already got our next 2 trials locked and loaded. Chandler and I, we're looking to
Do you
the
write your
future. We're
initials
future-oriented
anywhere on those
people.
plastic envelopes?
Yes, we are.
No.
See, incompetence would have been a great defense for her. Like, I know she's not on trial, but, you know, if she was just like, yeah, I was shitty at my job, and that's why the evidence turned
And when
out
you
so
got up, you
funky,
touched the ground. Did you
would have
notice
been great.
Yeah.
Yes.
that? Does
She
that
touched the
sometimes
ground.
happen at a crime scene where you will touch the ground?
There she
for
goes
whatever
again.
the
She's-
reason to balance?
That's not touching the ground to balance yourself. That's wiping the dirt with your evidence collecting gloves that you haven't changed since you started collecting.
Look, Joel's
That was-
pointing. He's like, what's this bitch doing?
I just put
Yeah.
C.
No.
Makes it easier.
Yes.
And now she's stomping on the evidence, right?
What is the purpose?
This is just to show how careful they were at collecting
Do you
evidence.
write your initials
No, I mean, what is the
anywhere on
purpose
those
of her
plastic
doing those
envelopes?
actions? They don't make any
No.
sense.
Because there was all these other little pieces around. There she goes. And she's got a rubber leg because it's all stiff.
And when you got up,
Weirdo.
you touched the ground.
Listen
Did
to
you
this.
notice that?
Yes.
Yeah. Does that sometimes happen at a crime scene where you will touch the ground for whatever?
Right in the middle of him asking, does that sometimes happen? You'll touch the ground so you can balance yourself. Meanwhile, she's she's sweeping the dirt with her hand while he's trying to say she's just doing it to get her balance.
For the reason to balance yourself?
Touch the ground or something to maintain your balance.
But
See, that's
she's like, that's like some
a
OCD
woman
shit.
who has never worn knee pads in her life.
Does touching the ground have any impact in terms
Yeah,
of
the
the
doggy.
evidence collection?
The doggy. She's
Not
an
really.
oddball.
No.
It does too have an impact on collecting evidence, you fuckwit. You get your evidence collecting gloves all dirty, dumbass.
Unbelievable. I mean, but see, this is a great thing. It's like, she's like, okay, ineptitude. Ineptitude is like, you know, as opposed to intentional
Now, what are you
malfeasance.
pulling out now?
Yeah.
No, it could be another envelope for the next item.
Flux. Even this located my evidence class was better than this.
When you looked at this videotape, does it look like you have more than one item in your hand? Yeah, okay. Right now.
Yes.
What items do you have in your hand?
A plastic bag and a coin envelope.
And what do you write on the plastic bag?
The item number.
That was the point, Ms. K. Griff. That was the point.
What do you write on the coin envelope?
Oh
The
my
item
god, how
number.
did I just get that just now?
And
It
in
took
this
me this
case, that
whole
would have been
time.
6.
Correct.
I have lots of answers and none of them are appropriate.
I'm not smart
And what are you
today
doing
at
now?
all.
Cleaning the tweezers again.
It
That was
cleans the
very
tweezers or it gets the hose again.
Put the tweezers in the basket.
Now, between the time that you cleaned your tweezers and the time that you picked up the
Yes,
next
precious.
swatch,
She's putting
did
the
you ever
tweezers in my bag.
touch the tip end of the tweezers that comes in contact with the swatch?
No.
Just the tip.
Is that the way that you do it at a real crime scene too?
Yes.
Do you splash junk all over
And
the
now what are you
place?
collecting?
The next control.
And you just put the swatch, the control
I
swatch
swear,
where?
man. Daylight savings
In a plastic
fucks me
bag.
up.
And is that designated in some way, again, to separate it from the?
Again, this isn't
stained
the real
swatch?
evidence they're
It has
collecting.
the item number and a C on it.
This is her demonstrating how she does her job. She does it very badly.
And this is how poorly she does it on a video to show how well they do it. So God knows what they do in the field.
Yeah, when the cameras aren't rolling. Can you imagine?
Ms. Gingrich said, of course she doesn't splash junk. We just went over this.
Now you're writing on another plastic
This
bag.
is why I love
Correct.
Mrs.
You
Kicker.
She
just
has-
wrote the item number.
She has
and-
written on plastic
Is that
before.
it?
Oh, written.
For that
Sorry.
one, you do just the item number.
Written on plastic.
See, you're thinking of silicone. Although I don't know in the 90s.
And
maybe
again,
things
you dropped the
Technology is
swatch
a little
in
different.
this video. Did you try to recover that swatch or do you just leave it on the ground?
Leave it on the ground.
Ground.
are grounds.
Swatch on the ground. Swatch on the ground. Looking like a fool with your swatch on the ground.
Now you're having a little bit of difficulty getting this off the tweezers.
Correct.
But when you look closely, did you ever touch the swatch with your gloved hand?
No.
Or did you ever touch the area of the tweezers that comes into contact with the swatch?
No.
Did you use a dental
Is
dam?
that consistent with your practice at a real crime scene?
Are you now scraping the tip of the tweezers through the dirt while collecting the evidence with the same dirty hand you just swept the driveway
than
with?
the other one, is that correct?
Oh my
It
god, this
appears
woman
to
is
be,
so
yes.
inept. Amazingly inept.
The 5-second rule of evidence collection.
It only applies to M&Ms.
Not more sharper tweezers, extremely sharper tweezers, Cindy.
Extremely sharper. Oh, by the way, you guys, if anybody has a favorite ramen, message me on Twitter and tell me what it is. Maybe I'll buy some in advance of our special stream next week.
I already know what mine is.
What's yours?
You'll just have to see.
Okay. I bet I know what it is.
Okay, thank
I
you.
bet you don't.
No,
Now, I want to ask
maybe I
you a
don't.
few more questions about the videotape.
Oh, thank God that's
First
over.
of all, in this videotape, did your gloved hands ever come into contact with a swatch?
No.
They came into contact with everything
And
else in
when I
the
say that, I mean a
neighborhood.
swatch that was used for either a control or for collecting a stain.
No.
And towards the beginning portion of the videotape, do you recall a segment where your pinky was somewhat extended, almost as if you were holding a china cup?
I recall it was extended.
She's
Yeah.
the
Now, what
cultured
were you
evidence
doing with your
collecting.
pinky in that
How we do it in
particular
England.
segment? You were also asked
Just like
about
yes, I
that.
trained in London.
Yes.
Helping to turn over the lid of the cap.
And when you reviewed
Oh.
the video, did you review the videotape again after your testimony?
Yes.
Could you actually see the cap being flipped before it was put on back on top of the pillbox?
Yes.
And is that also your practice at a crime scene, that in terms of the swatches that you're going to use for controls or stains, that you do not touch them with your
Nothing.
gloved hand?
They are not touched with our hands. No.
When you watch this videotape, was there ever a time when you touched with your gloved hands the portion of the tweezers that you would use to collect either a control or a swatch.
Now, I would argue you use the entire tweezers to collect evidence and swatches. I mean, you
Yeah,
sort of
you
have to.
do. Well, yeah, I mean the whole thing is moving. You're not just. I mean,
And
there's.
remember, she was like
yeah.
wiping it off and like, ugh, this is so stupid. But as long as we've stopped, we may as well read Britt Cormier, who's put us $85 away from unleashing the achievement for the day. Now I see where Lonely Island got their inspiration for Threw It on the Ground. LAPD is responsible for Lonely Island and NWA. Lol.
Oh my God,
And
that's a
don't-
blast from the past. I remember that.
And don't forget the legend of Captain Jack Sparrow with Michael Bolton.
After they were cleaned,
Thank you for the super chat,
but
Britt.
before the swatch was
Yes, thank
collected.
you.
No,
And is that also consistent with the practice that you use at a crime scene?
yes.
Yeah.
Now, on stain number 5, the demonstration stain, do you know from viewing this videotape for sure?
I'm going to start
whether or not the
using
moisture
demonstrations
from the control swatch did eventually
Demonstration
migrate
stain.
over to the stain.
as a euphemism for something.
From the videotape.
That'd be a
it
great
looked
insult.
Like it was coming close. Yes.
No,
It
no.
could have.
It could have, yes.
Now, does that present?
I didn't finish quickly. It was just a
Problem when you're
demonstration
collecting
stain.
Ooh. Oh my.
Not really, no.
Why not?
Objection, no foundation.
Sustained.
Okay. Well, counsel gave you a hypothetical where he related to you a set of facts under which the swatch came into contact with your hand and then was placed as the substrate.
My
control down
mind
on
is
the
as
cement.
dirty as her gloves are right
And
now
then the
on the
water
video.
migrated over to
You're thinking
the
about Phoebe
stain
Cates
itself.
again?
You recall a hypothetical along those lines?
Yes.
Under that hypothetical situation, is there any danger
They're called breasts,
of
Mama, and every
contaminating
woman has them.
the item being collected, the stain?
No foundation. This witness.
Or
Very little, if any.
And if this control swatch were in fact contaminated,
Would you give a shit?
could that be tested for by testing the control swatch?
Would you take responsibility, or would you
foundation, sustained.
blame
Well, have
Fung?
you been taught what the control swatch is for?
Everybody Wang Fung.
We have
tonight.
been told what it could be used for, yes.
And when it gets back to the laboratory, what do the people in serology use those control swatches for?
Objection.
Rephrase the
To
question.
create
Do you
dinosaurs.
know what the people in serology use this for?
I know they are used to see if anything in the background would interfere with the tests they were going to run. And they can also be tested for contamination, DNA, whatever.
And if the control swatch was in fact tested and it was determined that it did not contain biological material, would that indicate that you did not contaminate the control swatch and hence the stain?
Objection. That's all.
Or
Yes.
Now, with respect to swatches that are dropped. if
Drop it
you
like a
drop one of
swatch.
the
Drop it like a
swatches
swatch.
And you just leave it on the ground,
Grounds.
can that somehow affect or contaminate the stain that you're collecting?
If it's just left on the ground,
Right.
no, because it wouldn't be used.
Is there any significance to that at all that you're aware of based upon your training and your experience?
No.
And when you were testifying on direct examination, do you recall being asked a couple questions about different things that could conceivably happen while you're collecting a stain?
I think so, yes.
Your Honor, at this time, I'd like to read from page 23,700.
what volume is this?
Today's reading will be from page 27, line 33.
What volume, counsel?
Excuse me, Your Honor.
What volume is this?
This is volume 130.
Consult Brother Maynard in the Book of Armaments.
Huh?
I'm going to start on.
Is that a Mormon
line-
thing?
Well, actually, I'd like to start on page
I'm
22,
confused. I don't know what you're talking about.
on line 27.
Monty Python and the Holy Grail.
Oh. I don't know why didn't remember that reference.
Through
The Holy
line
Hand
6.
Grenade of Antioch.
Newfield?
Oh, right,
Do you
right,
have the
right.
page?
Brother Maynard, the Book of Armament.
Correct.
Mm. Man, I heard the funniest line when I was rewatching Annie Hall last night, and I never remembered it.
Beyond the scope of our redirect examination.
No, it was, he got into this on cross.
Would you like a moment to reflect on it?
It's hearsay. There's no inconsistency.
No, but it's not
Let me see
being,
counsel at sidebar.
thank you.
You guys, I've seen Monty Python and the Holy Grail like 10,000 times.
On direct examination, were you trying to in any way conceal or
It's early.
minimize different problems that can happen when you're collecting a stain?
No.
And
I'll bet you this is how the judge in the Maya Kowalski trial's hair started out in his younger days,
I could see that, yeah.
before his hair became a lonely island.
You're one to talk.
Hey, this is a lifestyle choice.
That's true. That's true.
Before the judge's hair became Mount Ararat.
one of the things that could conceivably happen, dropping tweezers.
It can happen, yes.
And did you admit that on direct examination?
It's hearsay.
Did you make any effort to conceal that during direct examination, that could be a problem?
Overruled.
No.
All right.
Did
And
you
do
think to
know
try
for
to
a fact
conceal
whether or
it?
not you did drop any tweezers at the crime scene at Bundy or at Rockland?
Did you drop them like they were hot?
I do not believe I did.
But if that problem does occur, how do you handle it?
Clean
With
the
a dump.
tweezers.
So this is a potential mistake that could occur while you're collecting evidence. Is that correct?
It's not really a mistake. It can happen.
Okay. But it
It's
couldn't
an
have any
unfortunate
impact on
series
the
of
evidence
events.
collection.
No.
If she cleaned it, if yeah, well, let's see what else she can tell us about lifestyle choices.
Now, getting back to
Always
the
remember to use hot
charges,
water.
I wanted to show you the evidence collection board.
Cold water won't cut it.
170. 177.
Don't risk a UTI. Look at OJ's face. That eyebrow raise, pretty prominent. I went to the store and I saw Mazzola corn oil and I burst out laughing.
It happens.
And I looked like an insane person.
That was Chandler.
No, it's my cat.
Was that your cat? I thought it was you going. Mm.
No, it's
Nothing.
Sebastian. He has like a deviated septum, so he like makes weird noises when he sleeps. He kind of snores.
Well, see, we haven't unlocked the achievement, so you all missed Strawberry climbing onto the chair,
Oh, that's too bad. I wanted to see that.
collecting a stain
be great if-
demonstration.
It'd be great if you could show your guests and co-hosts doggo cam.
Yeah.
You know, before you put the doggo cam up. Oh,
Mr. Goldberg.
yeah, he doesn't need a nose job or anything, but he's the one that attacked me and like bit my neck earlier. I have like a whole looks
The
bad.
whole thing.
Oh god, it's awful. It's like
Mm.
he's going through a phase.
It's a vampire cat.
Yeah. He's very sweet, but he's psycho. I mean, I actually think people have seen him attack me before.
The two little white items that are sort of in the area that's framed by your hands and your body.
Yes.
One of them seems to be closer to your right knee, and the other one appears to be a little closer to the edge of the corner envelope. But they're both on the cement.
Correct.
What are those white items?
And to show notes.
Swatches.
And if someone had asked you, had looked at this photograph and said, what are those items and how did they get there? Would have you told them that they fell out while you were taking them out of the pool?
Objection, Your Honor.
Sustained.
What would have you told them?
Objection, Your Honor.
Sustained.
All right, that's okay. Thank you. Thank you. I'm finished with the board. I'll take.
Are you gonna go to sleep on us?
I'm just gonna, rest a little. I'm watching.
The tapir contemplates its day in the wild. Shall it begin its foraging?
Let me ask you about another.
There's a scent of
issue
something in the
relating
air.
to the,
Tapir's
collection of
sensitive nose
biological
picks
evidence.
it up from
To
distances
your
of up to
recollection,
3/4 of a
has there
mile.
ever been an instance where you had the tweezers in your hand with a bloody swatch and dropped the bloody swatch?
It's a good David Attenborough.
That hasn't happened to me, no.
And if that did happen, how
Who
would you
knows?
handle that situation?
Ugh.
Well, if there was enough of the stain left, you just take another swatch.
Okay, but what if you
If
wanted
she
to
played
save
Samantha
that
on
swatch?
Bewitched, she could
The one
work
that
some
you dropped.
fucking magic with that nose.
Then you could
Wiggle.
package it in a separate
Good.
plastic
Nice.
bag, separate
Nicely
coin
done.
envelope, along with
High five for
another
that.
control of the area where it fell. Make a note on there what happened.
And why would you take another control?
Well, to get a sample of the area where the swatch fell.
So
Oh, is that
what
where your
would
nose
you
fetish
do to
began
give
with
you
that?
another hypothetical if you had a situation where for some reason you dropped a bloody swatch and instinctively you caught it?
These are some
in a
weird ass
gloved hand?
hypotheticals.
How would you handle that situation?
Same way, except you just include the glove as the substrate.
So you could include the glove as a substrate control?
Yes,
So there are ways to deal with problems, even such as dropping a bloody swatch.
yes.
No. How would you package the glove if you saved that as your substrate?
You know, she
control?
drops the bloody swatch.
That would be
All of the other
packaged in
criminologists
a
chase her into the
separate
shower and throw bloody
plastic
swatches
bag,
at her while she
separate
cries.
coin envelope, just to keep them
Oh my
separate.
god.
Or could you conceivably take a control swatch from the area of the glove nearby
Actually,
where
it'll
the stain
Watched that
fell?
last night.
You could, either way.
But I watched I,
Now,
Tonya
with
instead.
respect to
Oh, good.
Like an orange stray cat sitting on a fence. Ain't got enough dough to pay the
your
rent.
evidence collection,
I'm flat broke,
of the
but I don't
bloodstains
care. I
at
struck
Bundy and
right
Rockingham.
by with my tail in the air.
are there any mistakes that you can think of
Stray cats interlude there.
that you could have made that could have caused the blood at that location to somehow change into the defendant's blood?
Objection, Your Honor. No foundation.
Sustained.
Jesus
Are there
could.
any mistakes that you can think of that you could have made that could have caused
But he's in a
those stains to
dumpster
become contaminated in such a
somewhere.
way that they had the same genetic
Like the cake
markers as
and
the
the-
defendant's
yeah.
blood?
Objection,
Covered in
Your Honor.
ketamine.
Sustained. We're fading the question.
Are you
Ketamine
aware
cake
of any
dumpster,
mistakes
Jesus.
that you made or could have made to contaminate those stains?
No,
No mistakes.
Now,
No, she's perfect.
once you get back to the laboratory with these stains
Really? She's really defending her. Oh,
on
amazing.
the evening of the 13th, did you play some role in the drying process of those stains?
Yes, she
Yes.
talked it to death.
And then on the 14th, to your recollection, did you play any role in the packaging of the dried stains?
Objection beyond the scope of cross-examination to date.
Overruled.
No.
I may have.
And was there something else that you were working on?
Look at Chandler just drinking vodka straight from the bottle at 6 o'clock in the
involving a
morning.
case that was separate from this at or around that time?
I can't do vodka
Ye-
anymore.
yes.
Did that
Vodka's
involve
my
any
enemy.
biological evidence?
No,
Now, when the items are packaged during the drying, after they're dry, into bindles, what information is placed on the
It
bindles?
sounds like he's making meth.
the item number.
Dry it, package it in
and
bindles.
C for control on the bindle containing the control swatch.
So is that similar to the
Jesse,
same type of information
let's
that
cook.
was placed on the plastic bags at the scene.
Yes.
Do you have to distinguish necessarily between the control and the?
I'm so sorry
and
for making you
swatch?
all sit through
It just makes it
Mazzola.
easier for the serologist.
But it does pay off in the end. I promise.
I hope so.
And when you're
I hope so.
participating in this process of packaging the dried stains, is it your practice to initial the coin envelopes?
Yes.
And is any other information placed on the coin envelopes?
The property number, which is usually different than the photo ID number, but not always.
Is any DR number placed on those?
Yes, the DR number for the case is placed on each envelope.
And based upon your training and your experience, is the coin envelope what is used in order to determine what case those stains came from and where they were found at the crime scene?
Hey, welcome to the two new
Contains the
people that just
information
joined our
necessary,
stream. We
yes.
now have 108 concurrent viewers.
Woohoo.
This is
I
our
love how
sassy
popular
little
OJ is.
Thursday stream. Yeah.
Yeah.
Started out popular. People have grown weary of Mazzola. It's her
I
fault.
think that's all I.
Yeah.
Just check.
All right.
Well-
That's the end of redirect. So now let's go back to cross-examination.
Oh God, let it end.
Marsha, tell me what to do.
Marsha.
Just tell him something suddenly came up.
You
Marsha
said
had
that
a
you
nose problem.
generally initial the coin
But she got hit in
envelope?
the face with a football, so she had an excuse.
At booking,
Yeah.
Yes.
it is initialed.
And do you have to initial the bindles necessarily?
No,
Marsha.
no, not necessarily the bindles.
But you do place generally the item number and then designate the difference between the control and the stain
Which
Correct.
Marsha?
on the bindle.
Correct.
Where isn't Marsha?
Thank you. I have nothing further.
don't
I mean,
know
are
what
you
that
into
means. It just sounded
which
salacious.
Marsha are you into?
2 minutes or 10 minutes?
Maureen McCormick?
Oh, I see. Okay. Folks, will take about 10 minutes. All right.
She was my
Please remember
first
all my
TV
admonitions
crush.
to you. We're just going to recycle
Aw.
into
She was cute.
recross. And just for
Still
your
is.
information, because of the lost time we had this morning, we're going to resume this afternoon at 1 o'clock.
They were
rather
all
than
abducted
1:30
by
for a shorter
aliens
lunch
and
break.
experienced loss of
All
time.
right, Ms. Mazzola, you can step down. 10 minutes.
Makes sense.
All right. With this now time for our midstream grift. Yeah, you missed the exciting 30 minutes of opening 23 different envelopes. They did that, so we got to skip that. So we
Oh.
bought ourselves a little bit of time.
Thrilling.
Speaking of time, it's that time for grift. By the way, welcome, Chandler. It's good to have you here. How you doing?
Oh, thanks. Happy to be here. It's my job to
Great.
co-host, and I was late, so sorry.
And it's your job as faithful viewers. You need a bump there?
Huh?
You're like
I-
drinking vodka out of a bottle, going through Coke withdrawals. What's up with you this morning, Chandler?
This is a lemon ginger probiotic beverage. I'm
Same thing.
I am extremely nauseous. I have a doctor's
Oh.
appointment after this because something is wrong with me. I have like some vertigo stuff going on. I'm sick, but I'm still here because I love you. So, and I wouldn't miss it.
And
I mean, I have
everybody here,
missed
make
it,
sure
but,
you make sure you go on over to Remy_illegal over to her channel. She's been remonetized, so that's good. She's going to start doing some
Woo.
streams here, hopefully in the near
I
future, to
am.
make some coin.
I am. Yeah, I actually might do a feminism tomorrow. I haven't
Sweet.
done one in a while. And thank you guys all for bearing with me. I've had some just like life stuff I'm getting in order, family stuff, normal. But hopefully going to be streaming soon. I have some good ideas for shows, and I would really, really like to do some streams on my channel. So yeah, look forward to seeing streams coming for me soon. If not this week, then next week. We'll see how I'm feeling tomorrow. Yeah, Remy_legal, or you can just look up my name.
Remy_legal is more fun to say.
That's true. Yeah.
And As I mentioned at the beginning, coming up tomorrow, Alec Murdoch. We got some Alec Murdoch stuff.
Ooh, what's happening with that case? I actually haven't
Yes,
paid
that's,
attention. Are there new newses?
They are, which you and I talked about earlier today, and which we talked about at the beginning of the stream. We're going to be looking at the state's response to the motion for a new trial,
Awesome.
which includes statements from jurors as well as an affidavit from Becky Hill. We get to see her response to the allegations against her, her sworn response to the allegations against her.
Oh.
So that'll be tomorrow. Monday will be a special 48th anniversary Wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald stream. Excuse me while I cough.
The Edmund Fitzgerald. Oh my god, I know that. I know that wreck. I know all about it actually.
Yes.
I don't know anything about maritime anything, but that stream I will be here for because I'm obsessed with that story.
We will be doing that on Sunday,
I'm
next
excited.
Maritime Monday, because tomorrow is the 48th anniversary of the sinking of the Edmund Fitzgerald.
Oh no way. That's so cool. Oh my god, I'm really excited for that. I had no idea you were doing that. That's awesome.
And then Tuesday will be YNW Melly update, big one. And then Wednesday will be another Murdoch update, because they have also filed a motion to get rid of the judge, to get the judge off the case.
Oh yeah.
And then next Thursday will be another OJ ANDREA Mazzola stream. Yay! And then next
We're almost
Friday,
at the end. Almost.
the week from tomorrow, may very well be November's Bucket Friday stream.
Oh, awesome.
That takes us up through next week. And we are currently on our like and subscribe poll. 73% of you are happy to abandon OJ and start a different trial. We're not going to tell you what the different trial is until it happens, but we've got the next 2 trials locked and loaded already for our walk down trial memory lane.
That's right. We've got two up our sleeves. Trust me, we know what we're doing. We got some good stuff.
If not, we fake it really well. And we are $85 away from seeing some of this
Oh.
teaser. All right. Let's go.
All right. I'm gonna
Through
grab
the
some tissues.
tulips.
I'll be right back.
I know this is emotional. This is emotional testimony. Go get your tissues and come back.
See, I can do like the
All right,
falsetto a
let's
little
have
better.
the jurors.
I'll be right back.
Mr. Goldberg opened the door to me playing the audio portion of the demonstration.
Aren't we watching the
This is,
trial of Billy
series
Jack?
of answers from Ms. Mazzola about,
One tin soldier rides away.
that no one ever
Listen,
suggested to her
children,
he
to
should
a
mention
story
swatches,
that was
that
written
going to
long
show the
ago.
swatches. It's not a problem. It's not
The
something we're
trial
trying to
of
cover
Billy
up.
Jack. I'm thinking actually about getting a Billy Jack replica
And
hat.
in fact, what we have on
Should I get a
the
Billy Jack
audio
replica hat from
audio
Miller Hats? They
portion
have
of the
one.
tape Is Mr. Goldberg in her presence saying specifically, can we get rid of that portion of the video
Can we
tape?
edit that out?
What?
His comment was, can we edit that out?
Right, and then he also, and then not like we edited it out, but when he said, yeah, we can make an edit of it, and then Mr. Goldberg said, well, but then there'll be a gap, won't there? And then the fellow said, no, we'll do it clean. We can make it 2 separate parts.
So you're still suggesting that the conversation of counsel regarding the preparation of demonstrative evidence should come in before a jury?
What I'm saying is,
I think
that
so.
she was present for that conversation, for those comments of Mr. Goldberg. It directly contradicts the suggestion that Mr. Goldberg made to this jury through this witness on redirect, that no one had ever suggested to her that these fallen swatches should be kept away from the jury. If this is something we don't want to see, when clearly the opposite is true.
All right, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
All right, court's previous ruling stands.
Ah, boo.
Reflect, we've now been rejoined by all the members of our jury panel. Ladies and gentlemen, if you recollect yesterday, Mr. Neufeld.
Oh no, Daily Quick Bites. We did that at the very
cross-examination
beginning.
Pending.
That was right after the
permission
intro.
from the court to reopen when
You're
certain
slow.
items of evidence were delivered to the court. Those items have been received by the court, and I'm going to allow Mr. Neufeld to continue and conclude his cross-examination, including questioning as to these items. All right,
Got a
Mr.
couple
Neufeld?
more days. Got a couple more
The
days.
recourse as well now, so it's all
Yes.
okay. Thank you. Ms. Mazzola, it's
Mazzola.
been
Oh,
brought to
he
my
pronounced it
attention that,
correctly.
on occasion, I may have mispronounced your name during the
Chandler, you got to come back for this. You got to. See, now we have to wait for Chandler to come back so she can bask in the shaming of Him there. All right. Well, while we're waiting for it to come back, Arian the vegetarian. Vertigo is no fun. Ever since the crazy winter of 2013 in Utah, I get vertigo whenever I get a head cold. Somehow the shift in air pressure caused the crystals in my inner ear to reorganize. Ow, that sounds weird and uncomfortable. Billy Jean? No, Billy Jack. Billy Jack, the guy who sang Piano Man? No, that's no, different. That's Bob Newhart. Hi, Bob. Hi, Bob. Yeah, Bob Newhart, he does some cross-examinations here, but he's just there to look like Bob Newhart for the moment. Come on, Chandler, you got to hurry back. In the meantime, we'll flash up a little more doggo cam there, because this is what y'all are missing. You know, you're missing watching a dog sleep. That's my grift. I'm not sticking to it. Okay. Is the next trial perhaps the Ron Williamson trial? I don't know the Ron Williamson trial. Do not know Ron Williamson. Right. Behandler, you gotta come back. There you are. You're back, Behandler.
What's up?
We had to pause this because you would find it amusing.
Oh.
One of our jokes is finally coming to fruition. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All ready for this?
Yep.
Those items have been received by the court, and I'm going to allow Mr. Neufeld to continue and conclude his cross-examination, including questioning as to these items. All right, Mr. Neufeld.
No, I think I'll also be doing the recourse as well now, so it's all,
Yes.
okay, thank you. Ms. Mazzola, it's been brought to my attention that on occasion I may have mispronounced your name during the cross-examination because of my accent. And although I'm proud of my accent, and I'm sure you're proud of your accent, I meant no disrespect, and I hope you didn't take it that way.
No, I didn't take it that way.
Okay, fine.
We did.
And good morning, and good morning.
Good morning and good morning.
One of our jokes has come to
Ms.
fruition.
Mazzola, you said
Where do you think he's from?
a while ago on redirect examination,
Wild stab, maybe
Dennis
New
Fung
York.
had directed you just to use a single swab on
My
the
grandmother
gas pedal, the brake pedal,
had a
and the emergency brake
New York
Could be-
accent.
when you got to the barn.
Could be a hint of New York Jew. I'm not
That's
sure.
correct.
And you
Just
said
a
he
hint.
wanted you to use the same swab on all three because he just wanted to see whether or not they'd been used at all, or blood had been in contact with them. Is that correct?
Correct.
Well, wouldn't it have been very important, Ms. Mazzola, if there was blood on only one pedal? Wouldn't that indicate that someone had climbed into the car as opposed to have driven the car?
Sustain.
You can,
Sustain.
Oh.
Sustain, shut up.
That's a good question, though.
Ms. Mazzola, would you agree that to drive a car, one
You
have to
has
use two
both
pedals.
the brake and the gas pedal?
Oh,
How was that argumentative, you twit?
And would you agree that if you only saw some indicia of blood on, let's say, the emergency brake, but not on the accelerator nor the brake, that would be evidence that someone had
I'm
not
living in
driven the
long
car,
guy land too, if you know
had
what I mean,
blood
Kathy.
on issue, but rather someone may have climbed into the car and not driven it.
well, it's still,
It's a particular
called
flavor
for
of New York Jew. It's like from a
speculative, but-
specific borough.
the jury's smart enough to figure this out as they have all driven cars.
Ooh, that's an assumption. Everyone in LA has driven a car. I doubt that.
And by the way, Ms. Mazzola, you said that you didn't even see any red stains on any of those three items in the car, did you?
no, they were black. I did not see any red stains.
And Ms.
You'd be hard
Mazzola,
pressed.
That's racist.
you examined those items with that flashlight that you can see in the
Deliberately
picture, didn't you?
racist?
Mr. Fung did, yes.
Mr. Fung never said in your presence that he observed any stains on those three items, did he?
Sustain. It's hearsay.
Well,
Rephrase your question. Did Mr. Fung
Did?
ever direct your attention to anything
Yes.
on the brake pedals?
No.
Proceed.
Ito had to help him out. That's not good.
and in fact, neither you nor Mr. Fung that day collected any swatches from any of those three items, did you?
No, we did not.
And it's not because you were only looking for representative stains, because there were no other stains on any of those three items, were there?
I do not know if there were any stains present.
Well, you didn't see any stains, did you?
I personally did not know.
And again, repeating his honest question to you, and I'm going to get it wrong. Perhaps you could repeat your own question. Okay. Did Mr. Fung direct your attention to any stains at all on either of those three items?
Oh,
No.
Thank you.
I liked it the first time too.
Witty
Don't
banter.
say it again.
Okay, that's a rule of that's a very, very strict rule of court. No matter how bad the judge's joke is, you are required to laugh at it. If the judge ever says anything that could be remotely perceived as funny, laugh.
Now, when you did the demo, the demonstration videotape, ma'am, you wanted to perform on that tape as well as possible, right?
Yes.
And you were told, in fact, that there was a chance that this tape might be played for the jury. You were told that too, weren't you?
He's trying to
If there
open the
was a
door.
chance.
And when you did this this demonstration, I mean, relative to an actual crime scene, it was under ideal conditions, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Not ideal, no.
Well, Ms. Mazzola, there were no bodies present, were there?
No.
There were no 20 or 25 police officers present, were there?
No.
There weren't a phalanx of journalists with TV cameras across the street, were there?
No.
And there were no time constraints, were there?
No.
And nonetheless, Ms. Mazzola,
You fucked up.
problems still arose during the course of making that video, didn't it?
Overruled.
Oh, vague as to problems. What
Are we-
you want him to go and
Yeah.
enumerate all of the shit that went wrong during that video? Is that what you want him to do? No, you don't want him to do that. Just let him go with there were problems.
Problems such as the
Oh.
stains being a little difficult to remove, yes.
Other than
Oh.
the stain being difficult to remove, is it your opinion, ma'am, that no problems occurred or are
I
visualized
tried to
in that
help you.
entire
I
demonstration video?
tried to help you out of this prosecution.
Overruled.
Don't make him say it.
I don't understand what you mean by
Oh
problems.
God.
Whoa. Okay, so she watched that video back. She watched herself do all of that
Yeah.
stuff.
Telling us what
And she
was
saw
said,
no
Ms.
problems.
Mazzola.
Wow.
Were any problems with what happened on that videotape called to your attention while you were there shooting it?
Directly
No.
called to your attention.
When you watched it in court, did you
Not that I
notice that
can
you
recall.
Not that I can recall.
contaminated multiple
So
items?
as you sit here today, having seen this videotape now, both yesterday, or I'm sorry, the day before, and again today, it's your opinion that there were no mistakes made by you?
Mistakes were made, but not by me. It's going to be her answer.
Somebody's knocking. Lord, it's the devil. Should I let him in? Mm-mm-mm.
None that I could really see, no.
Thank you.
Wow. Amazing. I have my tonkatsu, by the way,
Mm.
when we have the right moment to share that, because you did get paid for that, for that question. So I can't remember who asked it, but it looks really good. I'm excited to try
It
it.
was Roger Stone. Roger Stone asked us 1 hour and 8 minutes ago. So here's a perfect time. What is the donkatsu ramen?
Yesterday, Ms. Mazzola, you said that you were not familiar with Mr. Simpson's name when you arrived at the scene on the 13th. Is that right?
That's correct.
But would it be fair to say that by the time you left Rockingham, late in the afternoon on the 13th, that it certainly came to your attention that he was
This
a
is actually asked and
famous
answered.
person?
I found out who he was, yes.
Well, not just who he was, but you found out that because of who he was, that this case was going to receive a great deal of attention.
I could tell that from the cameras already gathered at his house.
And even though you may not have thought about everything that happened on the 13th, the night of the 13th, certainly within the next couple of days, you were able to glean just from the vast media attention that this was going to be a case which was very high profile.
Yes, it was going to be high profile.
And in fact, ma'am, in the next few weeks, there was actually a hearing held in connection with that case, wasn't there?
Are we talking about in August?
No, was there a preliminary hearing held in late June that was televised?
Could have been.
And would you agree, ma'am, that throughout the month of June, the month of July, and the month of August, up until the time you testified on August 23rd, there was a tremendous amount of media attention to this case.
I guess it was on TV, yes.
And you realized during those 2.5 months, Ms. Mazzola, that you played a very significant role in this case, didn't you?
Oh,
Don't think that's
we sort of
argumentative.
Found this ground already.
Yeah. It's been a while since she's had her ground plowed, Judge. Let her roll with it.
As I had said before, I didn't give it much thought about what was going on in the media.
Interesting.
Ms. Mazzola, you realized from the day you collected evidence in this case that there was going to come a time when you were going to have to testify about what you did, right?
It's
Yes.
a Korean ramen.
And with
Interesting,
all
they would
that
call it
media attention
tonkatsu.
that you
That's Japanese.
were
They
conscious of
pronounce it
between,
donkatsu in Korea.
June 13th
Hmm.
and August 23rd, didn't you at any
That's
point during
a
those
Korean
2 months,
ramen there. Hmm.
with this being in the newspapers, on television, and on the radio, at all review in your own mind what it is that you actually did on the 13th?
No,
You never reviewed it at all.
no.
Now, you also said that what helped you to remember better what actually happened on the 13th and 14th was when you look at photographs. Is that right?
Yes,
And I believe you said that, for instance, looking at the photograph of item number 47 refreshed your recollection about what happened. Is that correct? That was one of the examples used by Mr. Goldberg. Isn't that right?
I believe it was 47. I'm not.
Well, let me just show you the photograph of item 47.
All right, and Mr. Douglas, this is people.
Douglas, this.
Your Honor, this is number 165.
Thank you.
Bundy Drive, biological evidence.
Why don't you take the long pointer with you?
Sidebar.
I'm pointing to item
Sorry.
47, correct?
Nostalgia.
And
That
that's
was
the
hot.
photograph of item
I
47.
miss
that
sidebars.
you-
We had to figure out a way to
photograph of item 47 that you looked
bring the
at.
gang back together.
Facts, not an evidence. There's only one photograph.
Overruled.
I looked at several photographs of the scene.
Well, you said that you looked at a photograph of item 47. Did you not?
Yes,
Was this the photograph of item 47 that you looked at?
I do not believe this was the exact only photograph of item 47 that I looked at.
Right? What other photographs of item 47 did you look at to refresh your recollection?
Overall views of the scene, that's what helped most.
Well, ma'am, yesterday you said that specifically you recalled looking at a photograph of item 47 and that refreshing your recollection about what transpired on June 13th. I'm simply asking you whether or not this is the photograph you looked at of item 47, or was there another photograph of item 47 that you looked at?
Negative, Crystal. Big negative. I love
Now,
K-pop.
the testimony
K-pop's
that
the
it wasn't
best
the photograph
Korean
of item
viewers,
47 which
but
refreshed
no
your
interest in going
recollection,
to
but
one.
other photographs of the scene.
Assumes facts not.
I'll be busy that day.
You may sit down.
You don't even know what day it is.
You would agree, Mr.
Chandler
Mazzola,
says
that
fresh
photograph of
tonkatsu
item
is better.
47
It's
is
just
nothing more
basically
than a red
chicken
stain
fried pork
on a
steak.
piece of concrete or the ground
Yum.
cover. Isn't that right?
Cutlet.
Sustain.
No, I mean, oh my
Did you
God, what
look
am I
at any
thinking of?
photograph at all, Ms. Mazzola, which shows anyone collecting item 47?
No, the
No.
tonkatsu.
Have you
soup
looked
with
at
the-
any photograph which shows anyone kneeling down next to item 47?
No,
But it's your testimony that looking at photographs of item 47 refreshed your recollection about what happened. Is that right?
yes,
And
Even
since
OJ's
photographs
bored.
refresh your recollection, did you also look at photographs of the other items that were collected in this case at Bundy?
That's this phrase.
Overruled.
I looked at several photographs, yes.
Did you look at photograph which reflected the location of item 50?
Which item is 50?
Item
You
50 would
collected
be
it.
photo identification 115. One of the blood drops taken from Bundy.
I looked at several photographs of the scene.
And were they photographs that depicted the location of the different blood drop stains at Bundy?
It showed their overall view, yes.
All
They
right.
showed her ovaries. What?
Next in order, Your Honor.
Overalls?
Weird.
Oshkosh bagosh?
I'm sorry, Mrs. Ross.
She probably wears Buster Brown.
1121.
Lame.
Appears to be a photograph of the rear stairway at
You're right.
Bundy.
You recognize
Stan
the
Levi's.
card that's sitting at the top of the stairs in front of the gate.
It appears to be one of ours.
And can you recognize what number it is on it?
115.
Okay. And 115 corresponds with item number 50, correct?
I'll take your word for it, yes.
Well, no, please check your notes.
Yes,
Yes?
yes.
And you were present when these photographs were taken, correct?
Stop licking
I
the table.
was at Bundy, yes.
Well,
Sorry.
didn't you testify on direct examination and on redirect examination that you and Dennis Fung together participated in setting up the photographing of the various items at Bundy?
Sustained. Rephrase the question.
Wasn't one of your responsibilities at Bundy to participate in the documenting of items of evidence?
Yes,
And part of the documenting of evidence entails the photographing of items, does it not?
yes,
And one of the things that you've been taught at the SID Mini Academy was to get various angles or various distances of the different items, correct?
the forensic photographers know that, yes.
To shoot it close up and to shoot it further away.
Correct.
And did you, with Dennis Fung, put down the various numbers along the way so the items could be photographed?
I helped put down some of them, yes.
Do you have an independent recollection as you sit here
OJ
today
helped
as to
put
which
some
numbers
things
you put
down
and
too,
which
but they were
numbers you put
people.
The ones I participated in were up
Oh,
near
you
the
didn't
front
believe
of the
that.
house in the area
don't.
that the crime occurred.
Do we think it was his kid or?
But
Colombian
where
drug
115
dealers.
is in this picture, Ms. Mazzola, is actually where item 50 bloodstain is. Isn't that correct?
He was a violent
Correct.
man.
And you personally knelt down and collected that stain, correct?
Correct.
And Ms. Mazzola, when you collected that stain, you were just a few feet in front of that rear gate, weren't you?
And while they're doing that, been there, done that, says legal advice says,
Appears at
what is
115 near the
kikurage?
gate, yes.
And you have to
Kikurage,
pass
it's
through
a
that gate
it's a
to
pretty
get
cool
to
mushroom. It looks like an
117,
ear.
which became item 52, don't you?
Very thin mushroom that
Yes.
looks like an ear,
Well,
and it
the
tastes
photographs, if seeing photographs
exactly like
refresh your
meat.
recollection,
It's
Ms. Mazzola,
weird.
When
Wood
you
ear
were
mushroom?
shown this photograph,
Yes, because it looks
Oh, I
like an
hate that.
ear.
Oh,
But it
those
tastes-
are like really, they're crunchy though.
Well, not if you like boil them. You boil them, and they taste like I literally thought it was like strips of meat the first time I ever had them. Turns out,
That's
nope,
so
they're
funny. Yeah,
mushrooms.
I'm not a fan of that. I love mushrooms, but kikurake are not my favorite, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Uh,
If you look at
you know,
pictures, they look
tastes
like a
different.
cauliflower ear, and
Yeah.
they taste like meat.
I
Like
do
honest
love
to God,
mushrooms.
thought they were meat. But anyway,
well, mushrooms have that effect, you know.
Umami.
I've used mushrooms. I made a mushroom, recipe for beef bourguignon. I did a mushroom bourguignon for Thanksgiving one year, and it was fantastic. So freaking good.
cool.
when you looked at the different photographs of the scene of Bundy before taking the
Arian
witness
might like
stand,
that.
did that
Recipe.
refresh your
Getting
recollection
hungry
that
at
there was in
1
fact a
a.m..
rear gate located there?
The photographs show that, yes, there was a rear gate.
Well, did seeing
Robin's
that
got that.
photograph refresh your recollection?
We saw pictures of
before you
Jody
took the witness
Harris's,
stand in this case,
rear-
that there was a rear gate at that location?
Yep.
That morning, I did not recall seeing a back gate.
Ms. Mazzola, when you say that morning, you mean the morning of June 13th?
Correct.
When you say you didn't recall seeing a gate on June 13th, are you saying that at a certain point in time, when I thought back to June 13th, I don't recall seeing a gate? Is that what you mean by that statement?
It's testimony as to gate, rear gate.
That morning, I did not remember seeing a back gate. After seeing photographs, apparently there is a back gate.
Ms. Mazzola, when was the first time that somebody asked you about a back gate?
Exactly, Alan.
I don't remember the exact date,
The month,
not even the month.
the season?
The fucking year.
I can't even remember.
Well, was it several months after you were out there in June? More or less.
It was after we had been out there in June.
Well, when you say after, was it the next day?
No.
Okay, so it was many weeks later?
I think we've given the jury a picture of what the state of the recollection is.
And when you say you didn't recall seeing a back gate there, do you mean that at that first time, sometime after June 13th, when someone asked you about a back gate, in that conversation, you didn't recall a back gate? Is that what you're saying, ma'am?
Yes, I did not remember seeing a back gate.
Okay. And then subsequent to that first conversation you had with someone when they asked you about a back gate and you said, no, I don't recall one, were you then shown photographs prior to taking the witness stand at this trial where you actually saw the back gate?
I saw photographs, yes.
And did those photographs include a photograph of this back gate, Ms. Mazzola?
Yes.
And so before you took the witness stand in this case, Ms. Mazzola, did seeing that photograph of the back gate refresh your recollection that there was a back gate there on June 13th?
I still say on June 13th, I did not remember seeing a back gate.
Ms. Mazzola, you've testified before this jury that there were some things you don't remember, but when you finally see photographs of them, you then begin to have your recollection refreshed. Is that correct?
On some things, yes.
Is there any other item, by the way, Ms. Mazzola, where you've seen a photograph of it since, where nonetheless it's your recollection that an object didn't exist the way you saw it on June 13th?
Under 352.
Well, the question's vague.
This whole damn system's vague.
Now, Ms. Mazzola, you've testified, I believe yesterday, that you first realized that the blood vial had been carried in the black trash bag in the morning of June 14th when you arrived at the evidence processing unit. Is that correct?
I had seen it in the evidence processing unit, yes.
On the 14th?
On the 14th,
And that's when you realized that it had been in that trash bag. Is that correct?
yes.
And in fact, where you saw it was when you took item 15, item 16, you say, and the gray envelope out of the trash bag on the 14th. Is that correct?
I did not personally remove those items from the trash bag, no.
You did not remove any of the items?
Personally, no.
Were they removed in your presence?
The blood sample was, yes.
Well, who removed items 15 and 16 from the trash bag?
Those were removed later. I'm not sure if it was myself or Mr. Fung did it later.
You say later, you mean in the afternoon after you came back from the Bronco?
I'm not sure. It was sometime on the 14th.
Are you sure
I'm
of
not sure when.
anything, Ms. Zoller?
But you do recall in the morning when you first got there that Mr. Fung removed, I'm sorry, did you say you removed the blood vial in the gray envelope or that Mr. Fung did
Mr. Fung.
in your presence?
Yes, I was there.
They call me
Now-
Mr. Fung.
You've also said that you've watched portions of this trial either on TV or listened to it on the radio. Is that correct?
Bits and pieces, yes.
And are you aware, Ms. Mazzola, that 2 weeks ago on April 12th, Dennis Fung testified that he carried the blood sample to the crime scene truck either in a paper bag, the posse box, or by itself?
That was like 8 months ago, our time.
Sustained.
Ms. Mazzola, one second.
He's reverting to his native tongue.
Your Honor, may I please have a sidebar on this particular question, on this line?
Joel, are you aware of Mr. Fung's testimony regarding the collection of the blood vial envelope?
No, I don't believe I watched it or listened to it.
All right, has anybody discussed that with you?
I don't believe so, no.
Proceed.
Well, at any point prior to Mr. Fung's testimony on April 12th, did you tell anyone in the district attorney's office that you realized on the morning of June 14th that you had carried the blood sample out of Rockingham in a trash bag?
Oh,
No, I don't believe so.
Ah, 10 more minutes. And after this, there's only two more of her. There's only 2 more episodes of her. Yay.
You testified on redirect examination yesterday that you had an independent recollection of carrying a trash bag out of Rockingham.
I thought you
even
said 4
before
or
seeing
5.
the videotape. Is that right?
Yes,
And you also testified that you figured out on the morning of June 14th that you had carried the vial of blood out of Rockingham in that trash bag. Is that right?
yes,
And you say that you came to realize on the morning of June 14th that you took items 15 and 16 out of the trash bag. I'm sorry, withdrawn. You also said yesterday that when you were shown the gray envelope, you were able to see the time on it as well, time of collection. Is that right?
there was a time on it, yes.
Well, what you saw on the 14th was a statement in Dennis Fung's handwriting that said received with a date and a time of 5:20 in the afternoon or 17:20 hours.
I'm not sure what all it said.
At this point in time, you're not sure.
Yes, at this point in time.
Why does she have 3 cups on the stand? Just reuse the same cup, you environmental warrior person.
She obviously likes beverages, and I can relate. I'm a beverage whore. I mean, I have 2 in front of me just now, and it's only 7 in the morning. Oh, shoot, Jeff, you know what? I've got to go. I actually have a doctor's appointment that I have to go to, and it's like 3 minutes until I have to do that.
All right.
Refresh your recollection
sorry.
as to what time you observed, if you actually
Likely
saw a photograph of that
excuse.
envelope.
Get out of here, Chandler.
I
At
swear,
what
I'll
time
see
I
everybody
observed
soon.
on the envelope itself? Or
Bye,
what?
Chandler.
Of the time
Everybody,
that
Remy
was written on
_
the
legal.
envelope
That's
That
Chandler.
you observed on the
Love you
14th.
all. Love you, Jeff.
If I
I'll talk
showed
to you
you
See
a
later.
ya.
photograph of the gray envelope.
do you understand the question?
Not really,
Would a photograph of the gray envelope,
right?
which reflects Mr. Fung's notations as to when it was collected, would that refresh your recollections as to what you saw there?
I remember seeing the gray envelope in the writing.
I'm sorry, you said?
I remember seeing the gray envelope and writing.
Next to. Could we have 184A? please?
Mr. Robertson, do you have that handy?
Where have you gone, Mr. Robinson? 9 minutes. 9 minutes of testimony. Looks like the microphone's wedged in his ear there.
Let me just show you, Mr. Zola.
It's a tarot card.
Prosecution's Exhibit 184. I asked you to take a look at that, whether it refreshes your recollection as to the writing that you claim to have seen.
She has bad
on
eyesight.
June 14th, when the gray envelope was removed from the garbage bag.
Objection to the word claim, this argument is.
Sustain, rephrase the question.
Seeing that photograph, refresh your recollection as to what it is you say you saw on the morning of the 14th.
It looks like what I saw. I just saw the writing.
Okay. And the writing you saw said that it was received by Mr. Fung, right?
Well, received from Detective Van Adder.
And that's in Dennis Fung's handwriting?
It looks like his signature. I'm not very familiar with his handwriting.
Looks like a signature though.
Yes,
And there's a time on it, right?
yes.
17, 20 hours?
Looks like 1720.
And it's a date?
Yes,
The date is June 13th, 1994, correct?
correct.
Thank you.
Wake up.
And you're absolutely sure, as you sit here today, Ms. Mazzola, that you came to this realization about having carried the blood vial on the morning of June 14th, long before you viewed the videotape.
Yes.
When was the first time that you told anyone at all about realizing that you had carried the blood sample out of Rockingham and back to the laboratory in a trash bag?
I don't remember when. It was not a big deal, so I don't remember.
Well, was it in the last 3 months?
I don't remember.
She doesn't remember anything, does she? How convenient.
I don't remember.
Was it during one of the prep sessions with the district attorney?
I don't remember when.
Okay. Remember when it was the first
No,
time? I asked you before about the first.
You've
time you
already
told anyone.
established
Remember the
she's
first
an
time you told
idiot
the
and doesn't
prosecutor?
remember anything.
Same answer?
Same answer.
Same answer.
Well, 2 weeks ago, ma'am, on or around April 12th, did any prosecutor ask you about your recollection as to who carried the blood sample out of Rockingham and as to how it was carried?
I don't remember.
That might have been asked.
But as you sit here today, you have no recollection whether any prosecutor asked you on or about April 12th, whether you had a recollection as to how the blood vial was carried out of Rockingham, and if so, by whom?
I had talked to them on and off. I don't recall exactly what we all talked about.
And you don't recall whether or not this was even talked about at all, do you?
Nope, because she's
Could have
dumb like
been.
that.
I don't
But
remember.
as you sit here today, you
Wait.
have no independent record.
Wait,
Sorry.
let her finish the answer. Don't cut her off, please.
Sorry, Mr.
No. Be my guest.
Be my guest. Be my guest. Be my
You have no independent
guest.
recollection of having said that to any of the prosecutors on or about April 12th of 1995.
Oh,
This was last century,
I'm
this
not sure of
trial
the date. We
was.
may have talked about it. I'm not positive.
One second. You said that you don't remember the first time you told the prosecutors that you had carried out the blood vial in that black trash bag. But whenever that time was, Ms. Mazzola, did the prosecutors seem surprised or elated by that remark by you?
No.
Were they particularly thrilled you did that?
Now, on November 22nd, at a restaurant, you had a meeting where your boss, Michelle Kessler, was present, correct?
She was present at a meeting at a restaurant, yes.
And there were 2 investigators from the district attorney's office present at that meeting as well.
Yes.
And during the course of that discussion, the subject of Detective Van Adder giving the vial of Mr. Simpson's blood arose, didn't it?
sustained. We've already gone through this.
But when it would be directed to us, what's your-
We've already gone through this, Council.
I have a sidebar, Your Honor. There's a new issue related to this that came up, I believe.
Proceed.
Well, if you
can make-
recall on
you can make-
redirect,
Excuse me, you can make your record at the noon break.
if you recall, Ms. Mazzola, Mr. Goldberg on redirect asking you a question about handling the evidence versus carrying it.
Yes,
And didn't you tell the detectives on November 22nd that you never handled the blood vial?
I'm not exactly sure remembering what I told them. It's been a while.
Well, did Michelle
Back in the gay
Kessler,
90s, anywhere Mazzola is the gay
at
whatevers.
any point during that interview, ask you to clarify the difference between handling the blood vial and carrying the blood vial?
I don't remember if she did or not.
Do you recall Ms. Kessler actually specifically asking you, not the detectives now, quote, did you ever handle OJ's vial of blood, unquote?
She might have. I don't remember.
And if she had asked
If
you
she
that,
had,
Ms. Mazzola,
would you have answered this
given
way?
the distinction that you gave to this jury between handle and carry, would your answer to that question be no, or would it be yes?
Sustained.
Rephrase the question. Come on, Donald. You can do it.
Ms. Mazzola, you said that you learned that
There you go.
that meeting had been tape recorded. Is that right?
Yes.
Yes. Take a look at this and see if it refreshes your recollection as to what you said.
Before he
No, we
does
don't.
this.
It's for purposes of refreshing her recollection.
This is something that they did not provide to us in discovery.
Your Honor,
Hold
this is
on.
now a speaking objection.
Both of you are doing it, counsel. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take our recess for the afternoon, for the morning session, actually, right now. Get you started on your shortened lunch hour. Please remember all my admonitions to you. Don't discuss the case amongst yourself or many opinions about the case. Don't discuss the matter with anybody else. Conduct any deliberations till the matter has been submitted to you. See you back here at 1 o'clock. Ms. Mazzola, you may step down. You're ordered to return at 1 o'clock. Thank you.
Boom. There we go. That wraps up today. We have 2 more weeks of Mazzola. Then we're on to closing arguments. And then we'll read the verdict. Then we are done with OJ. We'll put OJ on the shelf. And then my co-host, Chandler Remington, and I will move on to another case where Barry Scheck acted as the attorney for the defense. So stay tuned for that. That'll be starting hopefully in about 4 weeks. Do two Mazzola, 2 for closing arguments and jury verdict, and then we are done with OJ. Okay, everybody, that brings us to the end of OJ. Now we're going to wrap this up with a little post unboxing because we did our first unboxing. Now we do our second unboxing. Joe Choi sent me a box of goodies. But I also learned something from all of this. Don't send dog treats. Because Joe Choi sent some dog treats, and I learned that if you don't file all of the proper importation of pet food documents, the customs and quarantine people will in fact destroy it, and they'll charge me for it. So she sent some dog treats. The dog treats never made it to me. The quarantine people destroyed them and billed me $40 to not get something. So that's the sad part of the story. So yeah, yes, Joe Choi, that is crazy. I was like, what? They're like, yes, because if you get them through like a retail store and they get sent here, they're fine. But if it's like person to person sending it, it has to go through all these quarantine things. And if the paperwork isn't filed, and apparently there's a shit ton of paperwork, they say, nope, Sorry. Contraband dog treats. Exactly. So the dog treats, whatever they were, I'm sure the dogs would have enjoyed them, but they were probably incinerated somewhere. But what did survive? And next time we have Doggo Cam, we will have we'll watch them destroy. Next time Doggo Cam comes, we'll see this one particular dog toy here. And hopefully we'll have Doggo Cam again before Christmas. It's been about a week since we've had Doggo Cam, but Santa will probably last a little longer than Dinosaur because Santa has some ropey legs, and they like ropey legs. So Joe Choi gave us two dog toys mixed in with the destroyed dog treats. But also there was a bunch of stuff that just didn't make it because I ate them. She also sent some Scottish oatmeal cookies. They didn't leave my office. They were snacked upon. So those were gone. We also have some of one of my favorite things, the Walker's Flowers of Scotland shortbread. Goes great with Scotch. We may have been into these already as well because they're so delish. And we got some Jaffa cakes, the original Jaffa cakes from McVitie's. We've also been into those because they're also delish. So thank you for that, Joe. As you can see, I've been into everything. Now, this is a mystery to me. Candy kittens. Candy kittens, wild and free. I was gonna say they are gummy. They were gummy kittens at one point, but weirdly, none of them were actually kitten shaped. They're candy kittens, but they apparently have nothing to do with actual kittens. But they are carbon neutral, vegan, plant palm oil free, carbon neutral snacks. But one of these snacks, I know you can't see it, but because I know Joe says some of them are kitten shaped. Now, I looked at each and every one of these, and none of them looked like kittens. The ones that concerned me most were these, and we know where Degenerate Chat is going. See, we can't see these, can we? Have to these. Yeah, these particular things you can't see because it won't get close enough. We dropped it. It appears to be, for lack of a better word, butt plug shaped Virgin Mary candies. If you could see them in focus, it would look like the Virgin Mary Sacred Heart in a very unfortunate shape. They're Virgin Mary shaped butt plugs. That's all I can say. So it looks like she's got like the Sacred Heart thing going there, and I don't understand this particular shape, but I had to save the Sacred Heart Virgin Mary butt plug thing just because I was astounded by that. That's the last remaining kitten. See, there's nothing kitten shaped about those. And we've got a couple of really nice Cadbury Dairy Milk chocolate bars that will go great with some scotch as we snack away, and some Christmas mix candies, the Malteser's Christmas mix chocolate, and there's 3 reindeers, 3 mini reindeers, 3 mini mint reindeers, and 10 Malteser's teasers. Yum. I think that's all. Those are all that remained after I got them. So thank you so much, Joe Choi, for sending those delicious things to make me fatter than I already am. Thank you so much for that. So lesson learned, no dog treats. That was an expensive lesson for me anyway. Yeah. Thank you so much for that, Joe Choi. You are an awesome person. Thank you very, very much for that particular little box of goodies. We got to see the wrappers. If truth be told, many of those things I showed you are actually empty because they're delish. I have zero control. Once I open something, they just disappear. So, all right, everybody. Oh, you're sad. She sent lots of dog treats. Yeah, to get them here and to destroy them was about $100 out of my back pocket. It's like, oh yeah, not only are we destroying them, we're charging you to destroy them. So, yeah, no dog treat. So there we are at the end of another unboxing, my second unboxing, and episode 49 of OJ Simpson. Come back next week for the second to last time you will see ANDREA MAZZOLA on the stand. So, yeah, that's that. Mods, thank you so much. And a special thanks to Mod Joe Choi for the wonderful little treats for the unboxing that we did. And thank you so much for everybody here in chat. Glad to have you here. The 86 of you that survived to the bitter end. And our poll, 73% of you are very, very ready and happy to abandon OJ. Only 27% of you are not happy about this. But we're going to get into a very, very interesting new trial at the end of the OJ, which I'm guessing will be right around episode 53 or 54 is about when we'll wrap up OJ. So join us for that. Thank you for all your support. Thank you for everything. Join me tomorrow when we catch up on some Alex Murdaugh thing. And also tomorrow I'm going to be posting a short video about even more recent developments in the YNW Melly trial. The judge made a very significant ruling a short time ago. The opening statements were scheduled. Well, they still are scheduled. Opening statements still are scheduled for January 8th, but it's unlikely that will happen because the judge ruled, and we'll talk about the reasons for it later. The judge ruled that the entire jury pool is dismissed. They're starting over with jury selection. They've been doing jury selection for exactly 1 month and a day. And they were all dismissed for a reason. Jury selection in the YNW Melly trial starting all over again. So the chances of reaching that January 8th start date look really, really, really slim. So we'll talk about that a little bit later. Be on the lookout for the short video. I'll upload a short giving you the brief overview of that tomorrow, and we'll probably talk more about that on Tuesday of next week. So yeah, well, at least the judge is taking this seriously. Yep. So stay tuned for that. That's the most recent update. Tis what it is. I'm going to send everybody on over to Megan Fox as we wait for the verdict in the Maya Kowalski trial. I'm expecting them to come back with the verdict that Johns Hopkins University Hospital is extremely liable. There's going to be lots of zeros at the end of the award. So let's all go on over to Megan Fox. Medium smart Megan Fox, not the one with the weird toe thumbs. And let me take care of this. Live. OJ Live customization. Redirect to Megan Fox. And there we go. On your way out, please like the video. If any of you aren't subscribed, please subscribe. YouTube is being asshole. We've bled like 150 subscribers in the last 2 weeks because YouTube sucks. So double check to make sure you're still subscribed. If you haven't, please do. Like the video on your way out. And we will see you tomorrow for a big update in the Alex Murdaugh trial. Take care, everybody. Say hi to Megan Fox. If she wants me, I'll be on stream there for a little bit before I have to go off to dreamy dreamland. Love you all. Thanks for putting up with me and OJ. And we look forward to seeing Chandler Remington join us again next week. And just to say goodbye, there's the doggo. And good night, everybody. Remember, whoever you are, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, etc., always make sure you're doing your legal vices. Law Racks. Peace out.